are good to go. Working session being brought to order. 3 agenda items tonight. Public board packet documents launch and public comment options. Board discussion. Whose topic is
Could
it?
I lead off?
Yes.
First of all, I'd like to recognize that we have now agenda documents online, thanks to Danielle Bonora, our IT specialist. If you go to the Lebanon-utilities.com website homepage and click on the Lebanon Utilities Service Board link, then you can click on the board packet documents up at the top of the page, and you can click on the LUSB meeting 6326, and then the individual agenda item documents are listed that you can click on and bring up. And so that's a new level of transparency that I think will be is wonderful. And I appreciate that having taken place. And my next comment dovetails that, and I prepared it. The following statement was included in Mayor Gentry's April 13 letter responding to a recent Indianapolis City County Council letter expressing concerns about the water agreement between Citizens Energy and Lebanon. Quote, specific agenda items at utility board meetings are open for public comment, close quote. The common practice at our Lebanon City Council meetings is for Mayor Gentry to ask for public comment on each agenda action item before any motions are made. This is good public policy in that concerned citizens can express their opinions ahead of time on matters that impact them. Our Lebanon Utility Service Board meetings are not now precisely conducted like our City Council meetings. We allow public comment at the beginning and end of each of our meetings, but do not ask for public comment at the time that specific agenda action items are discussed and decided. If members of the public wish to comment on one of our board agenda action items before it is decided, they must do so at the very beginning of the meeting. It would certainly be helpful if our chairman instead adopted the practice of asking for public comment on each of our agenda action items before we take action. This would enable members of the public to hear presentations from our staff and consultants before they have an opportunity to comment. The presentations may answer questions that the public may have so that any resulting comments from the public are best focused on the facts being considered. I believe we should keep the beginning and ending public comment opportunities at our meetings. The public can use these opportunities to comment on items not on our meeting agenda. I also believe our chairman should ask for public comment on each of our agenda items before we take action. So that's the ask.
And we've talked a bit about it. I don't know how much you've been part of this. How to handle public comment, and we can argue any of them. One is if folks want to come into the meeting and they want to speak, we ask them to sign which agenda item that they want to address and ask for public comment once they've signed up to agenda item number 3 or with each agenda item. So that's kind of the 3 options I have heard. I'm amenable to any of them. I would filter yours one way, though. I would say if we're going to allow people to speak during an agenda item, I do not want public comment up front because I don't want. And I think I agree with that. But if we're going to do each agenda item, I don't want to hear about water when water is the number 4 agenda item twice. If we want to get them focused to that, I think that's great. If that makes sense.
Yeah. The only reason I suggested keeping the 2 is that if somebody had a family situation where they could give us a comment on a non-agenda item at the beginning, but they couldn't at the end, but the likelihood of that being impacted.
We can grant that if as an exception, I would think.
Right. And if somebody came up to us, yeah. So what you say about having the non-agenda item public comment at the end only. It sounds good to me.
How's it land on?
I think I'm okay with it. I am engage in the process. So I want to hear what the public has to say. I want to hear what their concerns are, so that the board can be informed when they're making their decisions. However, I'm troubled a little bit. I think, and I think it's been pretty well managed, but I worry sometimes when it becomes a back and forth and a question answer session. I feel like perhaps board members, perhaps staff members are put on the spot, getting questions that they obviously they are prepared to answer, but maybe not in that specific context. And so public comments, I think, need to be allowed, and I'm okay with those formats. I think I would prefer if there's an actual question that requires a response. I hesitate to put people on the spot. Now, it may be an easy question, but I think we have to have a policy and a way to deal with questions that come. And, you know, I guess if we're going to allow questions, that we can always be prepared to say, we don't have an answer for that in this form. We'll get it to you and make it public. But that's my only hesitation, is to avoid the possibility of misinformation because a board member or a staff member was put on the spot and wasn't prepared for a particular question. Comments, speak. And I think those need to be heard, because I think that helps to crystallize issues that we might have.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
public comment
right.
should be public comment. My only pushback would be when the public makes what I would view as an incorrect comment based upon something they've seen or heard elsewhere. I would prefer to get it corrected as soon as we could versus answering, and I don't know how to balance that, to be
And I think
perfectly
that's
honest.
legitimate, because I think things can come up and can be misconstrued. So that's, you know, I don't know where that line is, because I think we have to be very generous with allowing the public
Oh, I
to
agree.
be
I agree
able
with
to voice their concerns. And I think frankly, it's helpful to the board to be able to have that information, have that feedback.
And we have another avenue for responding to the public with our FAQs. In some situations, we might say, you know, that's a doggone good question, and we're going to study it, make sure we give the best answer possible, and add it to our FAQs. So that's another option of how we can respond with yet another new transparency item that will be coming up, the FAQs.
So I guess I'd like your input a little bit on, should we just solely be public comment and not respond at all, even though some of the information is different than the information we may have?
I think we can play it by ear, that you know, in some situations, the comment may be antagonistic rather than helpful, and we can answer that offline later, legitimately. But if it's a concern that we are comfortable with as board members, or comfortable that consultants are readily prepared to answer it, that we could do that way. So I think we could have some flexibility and be able to.
I think it's probably okay too, because the way I would view it is asking for public comment first, and then any additional comments from board members. So it's kind of a sequence where we can follow up with a comment, because we have remarks also before we
Right.
vote, to be able to do that. And
That's a good point. That's a good point. I like that sequence.
I
Public
guess I'm
comment,
comfortable that we occasionally need to, but to try to keep it at the comment, because Ann's right, we should not be putting anyone on the spot with information that we're not kind of absolutely positive of, us or any of the staff members.
I like that, they'll have public comment before the board comment.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I like that.
Yeah, and I think that if there's anything that has come out in the public comment that is patently incorrect or misinformed, then that's maybe an opportunity to.
So what's the chairman's final decision here?
No, I think we can implement this. I don't know if we need anything formal from Robert's Rules of Order or anything to say we just need to do it, but let's try it tonight. We've got 3 agenda items. I don't anticipate a lot of public there tonight, but you never know, so.
Well, good. Thank you for considering this. We're progressing forward on the transparency
I don't
approach.
I anticipate that 90+% of our items are not gonna be public comment, so I'm gonna be asking for public comment a lot and go, woo, and go right to, but that's
Right.
okay. Let's try it and see. We can be flexible in how we go.
So are we gonna skip unless extenuating circumstances, we're gonna not do at the beginning of the meeting, each agenda item and then at the close?
Sure. Instead of that. So tonight, we're gonna mix and match.
Okay, that's good, I just.
I would have the public comment at the end like we used to, instead of, yep.
If somebody does come in and have a lot of questions.
Oh,
put
yeah,
a FOIA
FOIA.
request. That way, staff can take that, answer.
How involved
Oh,
is that? I should know.
Do we actually need, if somebody requests something at a meeting, do we actually need for them to go through the formal
We don't have a formal form, we just require
Okay,
email, so it's
Okay.
real easy.
okay.
Okay, that's what I would
But it
have
helps us track
fallen
it.
back on.
Right, I think process-wise, we need a document that says this has been requested.
So, yes, and that's what,
So just have them email customer service or,
yep, and customer service sends them all to me. I think. We changed all that to customer service, remember, because we were getting them in both.
Okay.
But if not, it's a pretty easy.
Good?
Good.
All right. Water, wastewater FAQs. I got similar to a comment I made the other day, is Ryan has not been busy enough with work, so I was dreaming up things that we could do, and came up with this. No, want to talk about these FAQs. We'd like to get these and publish these. What I have seen, or what I've been observing for all of us, is that we're getting many repeat questions asked the same way. We all answer, I think, reasonably the same, but there may be some massaging. And what the FAQs will do for us is, one, it makes it public for us. We can put it on the site. And two is it gives us the standard answer that we can also have with us at all times for questions that come to us. So Ryan and Bob Holden put this together with regards to water, wastewater, the questions that we're seeing, and I'll let Ryan describe the background. But that was the request, and that's what is coming to us. I also view this as kind of a precedent set for us when we have important topics, not every topic, but important topics, where we're going to want to create things that we may be asking that the public might want to be aware of also that we can create. I will.
Yeah, so, when Tim asked for this. Wastewater projects email, and
Where is it
great.
physically located, the FAQs?
Well,
Is it, will it be on our website or?
yeah, it'd definitely be on the website. I think
Okay.
but we can put it up, but it,
So just for your information, Ian, this has been worked on, it's been reviewed somewhat. We haven't had Jeff review it yet. We're gonna have him review it before we post it, but would also, encourage, like any input you would have, seeing how this is the first time you've seen it.
I think it's great. I'm glad that you went really basic. You would not believe the places I get questions about this project and the level of misinformation or lack of understanding of how it all works. Because, and so I think this is very helpful to be able to say, you know what? There's FAQs, they can explain this better than I can. And the links are great too. So I think it's a fantastic idea.
I think the nice thing about having so, something that I think is,
So do you think you could put at the bottom, I know it will be on the projects page, but I know you've got the, for more information, visit the, myths versus facts. Can you say, here's the email, reach out here with additional questions? I think that's an easy and visible place for something like that to go, just at the end of the
yeah,
the
that
FAQs.
actually makes way more sense because it makes it streamlines.
Right. It's contained within, you don't have to come out and then look for something else, so.
And that's super easy.
And if they're on the website looking at it, they can just click the link, pull it up, ask their question, and it gives a little bit more accessibility for it.
Absolutely, yeah,
Danny, do we have the ability to track hits on the links? Do you know? Okay. Yeah, it'll be curious over time, like, trying to direct folks and see if there's actual hits, and then is it random? But, okay, if we can get it, great. If not, we can't get it, so. It took a little bit of work to do this, even though we've been answering these questions for quite a while now. And so now we've got something we can all use and learn from. All right, last thing, Ryan.
So, we have,
And you want to add one position
Yes, sir.
to the, yeah.
We're going to hire 2 people, but we're adding 1 additional
We're
position.
adding one that would be in addition to what the org chart.
And we do anticipate there will be no lack of work for the additional person, do we?
I have, no doubt. Yeah, there will be an abundance of. With only a 4-man, staff, that's.
But you feel like we have 2 really good applicants right now?
We do, one with a lot of experience, and hiring 2 people with no experience.
Does the experienced person have the certifications?
Not certifications, no, not yet.
Not yet, okay.
They haven't worked in.
So they would be on a quicker timeline then to get all our certifications then also.
Yes, because,
And they get certified to get pay bumps.
oh, absolutely,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great selling point, our advancement program. Whichever previous board came up with that, or persons, it was.
It makes it very easy to just lay it out in black and white and say,
That combined with our benefit package, I think is helpful when it comes to recruiting and retaining good folk.
I think our benefit package,
Our pay package isn't bad these days either,
oh,
so
it's fantastic.
I think we're competitive all the way around,
It's
which,
fantastic.
yep. Okay,
I'm in favor.
yeah, so we'll be voting to add add 1 position. What's that get our total head count to? Right at 50? 54? No, I just kind of view this, and I've told Ryan before in the past, that we got to project somewhat to the future too. When you think the miles of piping come into town and the coverage area now for all of these guys, we have to be thinking about and getting them on board now and training them now, because in 2 years, no, 3, no, In 2 years, we're going to have a 3X system to what we have now, and in 5 years, we're going to have a 6X system to what we have now. We obviously have some trained, but we also have some members who are potentially getting in a window where they may not work for us a whole lot longer, so.
Yes, we, the training,
Questions for Ryan? Thoughts, information? We have about a 15-minute, well,
I understand that these two people, well, one of them's not local yet, but will be soon. But we anticipate them fitting right in with our ethos of neighbor serving neighbor, from what you've told me.
yeah, absolutely, yes. Part of so
that requires the board approval to increase headcount.
The board sets salary and no.
Thank you, Ed.
Other small topics? Shall we have a motion?
I will move to adjourn.
Second? Yes.
Be done.